Up in the mountains, lonesome all the time. Soft winds slewing through the sweet potato vine. Up in the mountains, it's lonesome for a child. Whippoorwill a calling when the sap runs wild. Up in the mountains, mountains in the fog. Everything's as lazy as an old hound dog. Born in the mountains, never raised a pet. Don't want nothing and never got it yet. Born in the mountains, lonesome born, raised running ragged through the cockleburs and corn. Never knew my pappy, maybe never should. Think he was a fiddle made of mountain laurel wood. Never had a mammy to teach me pretty please. Think she was a whippoorwill a-scatting through the trees. Never had a brother nor a whole pair of pants. But when I starts to fiddle, why, you got to start to dance. Listen to my fiddle, kingdom come, kingdom come. Hear the frogs a-chunking jug of rum, jug of rum. Hear that mountain whippoorwill be lonesome in the air. And I'll tell you how I traveled to the Essex County Fair. Essex County has a mighty pretty fair. All the smarty fiddlers from the south come there. Elbows a flying as they rosin up the bow for the first place prize in the Georgia Fiddlers Show. Old Dan Whelan's with his whiskers in his ear, kingpin fiddler for nigh on 20 years. Big Tom Sargent with his blue walleye, and little Jimmy Weezer that can make a fiddle cry, all sitting round spitting high and strutting proud. Listen, little whippoorwill, you better bug your eyes. Tune a tuning while the judges told the crowd that them that got the mostest claps would win the bestest prize. Everybody waiting for the first fiddle dee, when in comes a stumbling hillbilly me. Bowed right pretty to the judges and the rest. Took a silver dollar from a hole inside my vest, plunked it on the table and said, "There's my calling card. And anyone that licks me, well, he's got to fiddle hard." Old Dan Whelan was a laughing fit to holler, and little Jimmy Weezer said, "There's one dead dollar." Big Tom Sargent had a yaller, toothy grin, but I tucked my little whippoorwill spying underneath my chin and petted it and tuned it till the judges said, "Begin." Big Tom Sargent was the first in line. He could fiddle all the bugs off a sweet potato vine. He could fiddle down a possum from a mile-high tree. He could fiddle up a whale from the bottom of the sea. He could hear the hands of spanking till they spanked each other raw when he finished variations on Turkey and the Straw. Little Jimmy Weezer was the next to play. He could fiddle all night. He could fiddle all day. He could fiddle chills. He could fiddle fever. He could make a fiddle rustle like a lowland river. He could make a fiddle croon like a loving woman. And they clapped like thunder when he finished strumming. Then came the ruck of the bobtail fiddlers, the let's-go-easies and fair-to-middlers. They got their claps and they lost their bicker, and they all settled back for some more corn liquor. And the crowd was tired of their no-count squealing, when out in the center stepped old Dan Whelan. He fiddled high, he fiddled low. Listen, little whippoorwill, you gotta spread your wings. He fiddled with a cherrywood bow. Old Dan Wheeler's got honey in his strings. He fiddled the wind by the lonesome moon. He fiddled a most almighty tune. He started fiddling like a ghost. He ended fiddling like a host. He fiddled north and he fiddled south. He fiddled the heart right out of your mouth. He fiddled here and he fiddled there. He fiddled salvation everywhere. When he was finished, the crowd cut loose. Whippoorwill, there's rain on your breast. And I sat there wondering, what's the use? Whippoorwill, fly home to your nest. But I stood up pert and I took my bow and my fiddle went to my shoulder so, and there wasn't no crowd to get me fazed. But I was alone where I was raised, up in the mountain so still it makes you scared, where God lies sleeping in his big white beard. And I heard the sound of the squirrel and the pine, and I heard the earth a-breathing through the long night time. They fiddle the rose and they fiddle the thorn, but they haven't fiddled the mountain corn. They fiddle sinful and they fiddle moral, but they hadn't fiddled the brushwood laurel. They fiddle loud and they fiddle still, but they haven't fiddled a whippoorwill. I started off with a dump-diddle-dump. Oh, hell's broke loose in Georgia. Skunk cabbage growing by a big stump. Whippoorwill, you're singing now. Oh, Georgia booze is mighty fine booze, the best you ever pours you. But it eats the soles right off in your shoes, for hell's broke loose in Georgia. My mama was a whippoorwill pert, my father, he was lazy. But I'm hell broke loose in a new store short to fiddle all Georgia crazy. Swing your partners up and down the middle. Sashay now, oh, listen to that fiddle. Flapjacks thicking up on a red-hot griddle, and hell's broke loose, hell's broke loose, hell's broke loose in Georgia. Fire on the mountains, snakes in the grass, Satan's here a-bowing, oh, Lordy, let him pass. Go down, Moses, and set my people free. Pop goes the weasel through the old Red Sea. Rabbit in the pea patch, possum in the pot. Try and stop my fiddle now, my fiddle's getting hot. Whippoorwill a singing through the mountain hush. Whippoorwill a shouting from the burning brush. Whippoorwill crying in the stable door. Sing tonight like you never sung before. Hell's broke loose like a stomping mountain shoat. Sing till you bust the gold in your throat. Hell's broke loose for 40 miles around. Bound to stop your music if you don't sing it down. Sing on the mountains, little whippoorwill. Sing to the valleys and slap 'em with the hills, where I'm strutting high as an eagle's quill. And hell's broke loose. Hell's broke loose. Hell's broke loose in Georgia. There wasn't a sound when I stopped bowing. Whippoorwill, you can't sing no more. But somewhere or other the dawn was growing. Oh, mountain whippoorwill. And I thought, I've fiddled all night and lost. You're a good hillbilly, but you've been bossed. So I went to congratulate old man Dan. But he put his fiddle into my hand. And then the roar of the crowd began.